Well, hello everyone and welcome to another video. Great to be back, great to be outside. I think before I go on, I'll explain something so that I don't get people going, it's lockdown, what you're doing. I'm currently out of work at the moment, and a friend of mine has very kindly given me a bit of decorating work in his house, which is actually empty at the moment. He's unfortunately stuck on the other side of the world without any ability to get back into the country. So I've offered him to do me a favour because he's been very kind to me in the past with various bits and bobs. But with that, I'm going to stay on site. This is a little bit of his woodland that he's got just next to his house, which I'm really grateful for. So I'm not going to be infecting his house or anything. I'm just going to come into this woodland, I'm going to sleep in my tent, and in the morning I'm going to get on with his decorating job. But I can kill two birds with one stone. I can get out and I can have a sort of a semi-wild camp, although I've got permission to do this, and do some great cooking, have a look at a couple of items that are, well, I say a couple. The thrust of this video is using stuff that I've been storing and not willing to use because it's all too nice and new. I've realised that life's too short. I've been given stuff, I've bought stuff, it sits in the cupboard, and I've just thought, that's just too good to use. I'm going to start using the stuff and I'll cover it, and I'll do a couple of little reviews on some bits as well. So I've probably got about 2 hours of useful daylight, so the most important thing is getting my shelter put up, and then I'll get back to you. So I've got myself set up. I've got my one Tigris smoky tent up for the first time, had it for ages. I made a little stove jack for it. I wasn't going to spend £20 on one, so I made my own out of some sort of silicone baking parchment and sewed some Velcro to that, so hopefully that'll work okay. I bought a lot of wood with me because I wasn't sure what sort of woods my friend had here, and I wasn't going to start hacking into his trees in case there wasn't much deadfall lying around, but there is quite a lot, so I'll be okay. I've got my Pommery stove up ready to heat the tent. It's the smallest one they do, I think it's the titanium mini. Got my chimney going up out of there now, and I made a little support grill, which either I can use for just storing things next to the stove off the ground, or I can actually put it over the top of the stove and use it as a sort of simmering area, so you can have direct heat and then just move it slightly to the side for less intense heat, because they do pack a punch. Anyway, I'm going to get a proper fire going now away from this tent and hopefully do a nice cook up. Well, I've got the camp set up nicely now. I've got a nice little controlled fire going, and I've got all my ingredients ready for the cook up. It's still only 4:15 at the moment, so a little bit early to be eating. I've got fading light at the moment, so I thought I'd just have a chat with you before I have to start making some extra light so that you can see me. I'm going to have a cup of coffee now, and one of the things I try not to do on YouTube, I don't make any money out of it, is plug other people's stuff or do sort of unnecessary reviews and product placement, that sort of thing. But one of my friends and colleagues at work, amongst 300 or so that were made redundant, has made a very gutsy move and started a coffee company, and that's online, where you can order coffee, you can order anything to do with making coffee, machines and so on. It's called Alt, as in altitude coffee. I'll put a link up in the description, and this coffee here that he's given me very kindly is called the Captain's Roast, which I particularly like the sound of. He's very kindly offered 15% off for any of my subscribers that choose to visit his website. Give it a go. I'll put the link up, as I say, and the code to use is Richard21, and I'll also put that in the description. So let's see how this coffee tastes. Right, well, whilst that's brewing away, I'll get on to preparing the meal tonight. And what I'm going to do, it is a Sunday, so we're going to do a Sunday roast. A little bit unusual and not to everyone's taste, because not everyone likes game, but I'm going to do roast pheasant and roast potatoes with carrots. I got given a Dutch oven by my two eldest sons as a joint Christmas present. I've seasoned it. I'm very much looking forward to using that. So I'm going to cook the pheasant, and then while that's resting close by the fire, I'm going to cook up some nice roast potatoes and carrots. Well, that's brewed, and here we go. And here we go. His name's Joe. He's a good bloke and he deserves a leg up. And that is superb coffee. So Altitude Coffee Roasters. I'll put the link in the description, and 15% off using Richard21 at checkout. So thanks everyone if you help support him. Good on you, Joe. One of the things I didn't actually mention is that I'm going to have this butternut squash, one of my favourites. I battened down one of these earlier, and just going to sprinkle it with a bit of olive oil. And I'm going to get this on early because they take absolutely ages. Some olive oil and some salt. I'm just going to knock that up. And stick that in the fire. This is really just going to be a support in the bottom of the... I'm doing that pausing as I talk again. I did that when I was doing the leather work. In the bottom of the Dutch oven to stop the pheasant burning on the bottom, and it will also add when I make the gravy. So that's just a little platform that's going to be in the bottom of the Dutch oven. So there's my Dutch oven. I've actually reduced the size of these onion platforms because they're making the pheasant stand a little bit high. And there goes the pheasant there. All these little wisps of feather will just burn away. And I've got some of my homemade smoked streaky bacon. And I'll put some of that over the top. Pheasant can dry out a little bit unless it gets a little bit of extra fat. That'll do nicely. That's better. Good. I'll now get some embers together and put that on. Here we go, tonight's tipple. There you go, Tesco rosé, grape and rhubarb sparkling soft drink. See how this goes. Oh, it's pretty good. Bit of soft sparkling something, snow. Can't beat it. Cheers everyone. Wow, I'd actually say that's pretty much done. Including the burnt bits. Right, so I'm going to put that pheasant in some tin foil next to the fire and get on with preparing the potatoes. I'm actually just going to cube these really small and saute them because I didn't expect that pheasant to cook so quickly. So into here I'm going to put some goose fat. Already a fair bit of bacon and
sort of pheasant residue anyway, so I doubt that'll be enough. Into there, potatoes. Pop that onion in. A load of garlic. Top. Right, let's have a look. Well, quite a mush, but it smells delicious. And we're ready to go. Well, this has been standing about 45 minutes and it's still piping hot. There's a pheasant, butternut squash. Oh yeah, absolutely love this. Roast vegetables, potatoes, garlic, and carrots. All got a bit mushy, but oh, an onion. Enough for about 8 people. I'm starving hungry though. And finally, some gravy. Oh, I think that's perfectly cooked. And look at that. Pheasant and a bit of potato. I think. No, that's a Sunday roast. Oh, it's just delicious. Butternut squash. Oh, it's really good. It's got smoky carrot. Homemade bacon. Well, I'm really pleased with that. That's delicious. And I'm very hungry, so I'll just get tucked into this. And I'll speak to you when I start getting the tent stove fired up. Well, I put the pheasant bones in my waste bag here, but I've eaten every single bit of that. I scraped out the Dutch oven for the rest of the burnt bits off the bottom. It was just delicious, absolutely 0% for presentation, 0 out of 10, but cracky did it taste good. I'll work on the presentation, but what was that? We cooked roast pheasant, butternut squash, sauteed potatoes, carrots, chucked in the rest of that onion, and it's Sunday. I've had my Sunday roast. Absolutely delicious. Good. Well, I'm going to build this fire up a little bit. It's starting to get cold now. I'll stay by it for a little bit. It's still only 10 to 7 in the evening, so a little bit to go. And then I'll fire up the pommel in the tent. But what a meal. Fantastic. Well, I can't quite believe how much room there is in this one Tigris sort of smoky tent. I haven't got the stove going yet. I'm just about to light that. and yeah, I've just got everything set out at arm's length, and I'm hoping for a good night. This sleeping bag, it's a Robins 600. I've had it for absolutely ages, never used it. It says it's suitable for -5 and it's due to get to about -4 tonight, so I should be should have a degree in hand. But yeah, I've got my outhouse, this blanket as well, just in case it does get a little bit cold. But at the moment I'm hopeful, but you know, things happen in the middle of the night, you wake up all cold. So I'm going to get this Pomeroy going and see how hot it gets in here. I'm not going to mess around. Already lit the fire with a spark. I'll just give that a go there. Just get that drawing through for a bit. It's really hot in here, which is fantastic, but I wish I could employ someone to sit in the corner and feed this with wood every half an hour or so during the night, because I know it's going to get cold. But it got really hot really quickly in here. It's fabulous. I've been out to check my stove jack, and it's absolutely holding fast. It's I was just worried about the integrity of the heat resistant material, but a bit of the chimney's actually touching it, and it does get really hot, and it's not a sign of melting. So it luckily chose the right stuff. So I'm gonna use the stove for its other use, which is to boil up some water for a hot chocolate before bed. I just want to show you something. I got this idea off Andy from Kent Survival, and it's one of these folding up dog water bowls or dog food bowls, and it's great. I'll put my car keys in there, I'm going to put my phone in there, and I just know where they are should I need them in the night. I'm going to have to start stripping off, and you don't want to see that. What a thing. Right. Oh, that's good. Right, well, I'm going to go to bed. You don't want to see me strip off any more layers. So that's been a great evening. Great, really enjoyed the cooking. Love being out. I've got a very early start to get on with the decorating tomorrow. So I've got to earn my keep of being able to stay in his lovely grounds here. But I'll work good and hard and see if I can get a bit of the afternoon off to come back and do some more. Night for now. Well, good morning. Yeah, not bad night. 3 sort of proper sleeps. I'm on a bit of a slope, which was a pain because I kept drifting down and having to sort of adjust myself back onto the sleeping pad every so often, but yeah, it's good. And the main thing, I was warm. I'm not warm now, and so I'm going to get the good old Pommery fired up, defrost myself, and think about getting some coffee on. Instant heat. I'm within less than 5 minutes of lighting that, I'm toasty again, and that's brilliant. Going to try a different style of coffee today. I've got some of Joe's beans here, freshly ground coffee for the beginnings of breakfast. It's very early here, it's only about, it's coming up to 6, but I've got a lot of work to do with this decorating job. I want to get that done and maybe get a bit of time off in the afternoon to come back and have more fun around camp. Breakfast time. Many moons ago I went for a very big breakfast in the States, and one of the things on the menu, I couldn't believe whether it actually went together, but I ordered it and it was absolutely fantastic. And it was this really thick pork steak with fried eggs. Very simple, but gosh, it went well, and I'm going to try and do that now. I've got some rare breed pork. A friend of mine, Ian, runs a company called Gridiron Meat and does an awful lot of mail order of extremely rare breed beef and pork and so on. And he's given me a couple of these lovely steaks, and it's from the Mangalissa pig, I think that's how it's pronounced, which is a pig that just forages in Woodland, and so it's apparently sensational. So we're going to cook up that with some eggs. A bit of olive oil in there. Well, my friend Ian said cook it quickly and then let it rest. So I've got my warming area there. And I'll just do some eggs whilst that's keeping warm. A nice little blast. And I could do. Okay. Oh no, I'm tidy. Alright, so I've overcooked my eggs a little bit, but who cares? So here we go, manzanitsa, oh, don't know, pig anyway, and eggs. I can already tell it's got texture of butter. Face says it all. That's the nicest bit of pork I've ever had. I've just had one mouthful. It is stunning. Here we go again. Well, I've got a very full tummy, and that's a good way to set myself up for a day's work. It's now 20 to 8. I've got to be on site at 8 o'clock, so I'm going to get my decorating gear on, get as much work as I can do in the shortest space of time, but I've got to put in a bit of graft, and then come back to you later on in the afternoon. 15% off their first purchase that makes a bollocks. Bloody typical.